Doug DeGeorge back with Sir Oliver Humperdinck, World Superstars of Wrestling.
When you see that smoke coming out of the portal like that, that can mean just one thing. This monster is on his way to the ring from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. You're looking at Big Van Vader, one of the toughest, roughest guys to ever come down the wrestling pipe. And in the ring, awaiting his arrival, Scott Norton. And we're about to see a battle of the bruisers today, brother.
Big Van Vader does not go under any ropes.
He goes over the top of not only ropes, but opponents and everything else that gets into his way. He steamrolls them. And, of course, Scotty Norton, his opponent. Now watch what he does with this unusual headgear here. Somehow or another, this thing will belch smoke without even Vader being around it.
What?
Reminds me of that Aliens movie or something. It's unearthly, this thing.
There's Scott Norton.
No little man or no little slouch in himself. This guy's a big, powerful man. But across the ring from him, this man, 457 pounds, I think he weighed it. 457 pounds from the Rocky Mountains of Colorado.
And 8 ounces.
Oof. Watch this now. Watch this. This is unearthly. Watch this. I can't figure out exactly what this is. Watch this now. Watch this. It's almost as if this headgear has a life of its own.
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh! There it is!
How does he do that? I can't understand. What does that mean, as a matter of fact? What does this man possess?
Scott Norton trying to figure it out also. You're right, Sir Oliver.
Look at the size of Van Vader. Tremendously strong, powerful athlete. Scotty Norton, former arm wrestling champion from the Pacific Northwest of the United States. And it's Norton ducking under that clothesline of Vader, delivering one of his own, and now comes squashing into the corner. I think Vader might have taken Scott Norton a little bit too lightly in this one.
That could happen. Of course, as they say, the bigger they are,
not necessarily. The harder you fall.
the harder
You fall.
you fall.
That's right.
Oh.
Vader on the outside, checking his opponent, Scott Norton, saying, what does this kid got? Well, the kid's got desire, and he wants to knock off a top dog, and the only way to get to the top is to knock off a guy like Vader.
Big Van Vader, they say he is from the Rocky Mountains. He could be one of the Rocky Mountains.
I'm sure he could. He's a mammoth individual. This man is about 6'4" tall, 450 pounds. Referee Bill Alfonso, sent over here as a special troubleshooting referee for World Superstars of Wrestling. Look at the beating that Scott Norton's taken initially in this match.
I think I skied the back of Big Van Vader once, as I recall.
You can see the effects of those blows already on Norton's face. Did you see that swelling and bruise under his eye there? This is going to be an ugly, ugly match.
Speaking of big and ugly, Sir Oliver.
Why look at me when you say
No, I am talking about
Vader.
Never mind. Van Vader takes a couple of shots from Scott Norton, who has not been quite as impressed.
I'm sure that Vader is double thinking his game plan now, wondering what he's got to do to get this kid in control here. Because so far it's been all Norton.
Van Vader disrobing. We hope he stops there.
Dropped him back on his head, the back of his neck there. Vader in for the squash. That's 457 pounds.
Norton wisely heading out.
Vader, at this point, is the king of all he surveys as he looks out at Norton on the outside. Look at the bruise. I was telling you, there's a bruise again on the face of Scott Norton after suffering that assault in the corner from Big Van Vader. I can't think of a better word than assault for that kind of action. Bill Alfonso, one of the top referees in the world today, sent over here to handle this one.
Looks like they were going to go after some sort of test of strength. Now they are.
Greco-Roman knuckle lock coming. Maybe no. It's Vader. Goes for a leg sweep. And now on top, laying full body weight on top of Scott Norton.
Look at him work that elbow in on Norton.
Oh, yeah. Now look at, you'll see Vader. He didn't do it there, but he's got that wrist tape, and he'll take that wrist and he'll run it over the ear, or run it over the nose, or whatever he can get a hold of his opponent, just to be mean and to be nasty and to be sadistic, as he always is. Looked like he almost had a hold of that ear there for him. This guy is just too powerful, too awesome to believe. While these matches are great and everything on TV, it's hard to believe the size of this man unless you see him in person. Scott Norton, wishing he was anywhere but there right now.
Probably wishing he never left Ralph Cramden.
I heard that.
Clothesline on Norton.
To the moon. Scotty Norton down. Checking for all the teeth, making sure he's got all 32 of them. As Vader again comes in, walks in, power slams Norton down, goes for a cover. Norton too fresh though, able to kick out. Referee Bill Alfonso right on top of the action.
Now you would think, Mr. Oliver, as the match goes on, the time factor would be something that would aid Scott Norton.
It would indeed. Vader being the bigger man with more weight to carry, the longer this match goes, the better Norton's chances are of victory. But Vader's the type of guy that'll wrap it up in 2 seconds if he can. I've seen him win many, many matches in under a minute, just by sheer power and aggressiveness. Norton delivering a knee now.
Norton, by and large, has pretty much held his own.
He's done pretty well. Pretty well against a big man. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, that's 457 pounds this man just body slammed.
Elbow drop. Now recover.
I don't think so, Scotty. Not now. Not now.
Norton with a clothesline blocked. Oh! And Big Ben Vader picking up Norton like he was 10 pounds and dropping him backward.
Vader setting him up now. Look out. Big clothesline. As Norton staggers. Vader again. Big clothesline knocks him off his feet.
The cover.
Almost took his head off. As a referee only counts 2. Norton able to get that shoulder up. Vader going downstairs now with a shot to the breadbasket. Another shot to the breadbasket. And one to the nose. Oh my goodness. That was a forearm straight to the nose.
Man, Vader, how about that move?
Sunset flip.
Sunset flip for the win. No.
When you see a guy 450 pounds doing a move like that, you know he's not only got power and strength, but agility as well. Dangerous combination.
Norton into the ropes. Runs into Van Vader. Oh! The big splash for the finish. Not yet.
They're loving it here tonight along the WSW Wrestling Network. We're watching Big Van Vader battle Scott Norton in a battle of the bruisers. Look at the size, and how would you like to have this guy after you for 20 bucks?
Man, whew. I'd give him 40 back.
Just to leave me alone, right? Vader now going outside. Norton on the inside, Vader on the outside. Vader looks like he might try a suplex here. This is a dangerous maneuver. Should it be executed here? Look out.
Can't get him. No.
Oh! Vader from the outside brought in with a suplex by Scotty Norton, and Vader down on his back and not moving. It looks like the tide has turned, and Scott Norton is going to get the advantage here over Van Vader. Vader ducks out of the way, but Norton catches him coming out with a big clothesline.
And that should do it. No.
You're not going to beat a man like Vader like that. You're going to have to work him over real good. Look at this. Norton already busted open by that onslaught brutal attack by Van Vader. And I'm sure he's going to have some stitches put in his head after this one. Vader down to the mat with a reverse neck breaker by Scott Norton. Norton in control for the first time tonight.
The blood trickling into his eyes.
Is he going to try a DDT? Oh! Drops the big man right on his head. And Vader's not moving. He ought to get on him. He needs to cover this guy. He's taking far too much time here as Vader staggers to his feet. It's Norton again with a DDT. Drops him right on that head.
Now.
Not yet. As Van Vader able to get the shoulder up and thwart the efforts of Scott Norton.
Norton playing to the crowd. That may cost him.
Big slam. Oh.
Power slam. Hook the leg. No.
Norton's got to be thinking, what do I have to do to this guy to beat him? He's done everything and then some. Thrown everything at him and then some. And still, the monster from the Rocky Mountains gains his feet again. Norton goes for the clothesline. Vader ducks out of the way, and Norton takes a trip outside.
Vader finding something extra to hang in.
They're down here right in front of us now. I'm going to stay mobile. I don't know about you.
Be careful.
Look at that. Vader working on that cut above the eye again with a headbutt after headbutt. As Norton tries to fight back. They better be conscious of this count going on. The referee's holding a count back there.
Powerful right hand.
There's one of our broadcast associates doing the television for our Asian markets.
Oh! Vader moved out of the way.
Oh.
People in the front row are backing up.
If I were asked to describe what I'm watching right now, this is brutality. Brutality in its rawest form as Vader continues the assault on Scott Norton. Knocks him into the third row there.
Vader back in.
And what has happened is the referee has counted out Scott Norton. Vader had the presence of mind of knowing what that count was up to and rolled back into the ring, leaving Norton on the floor, and the referee 10 counted Norton. And your winner, Big Van Vader. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsor.